You see your neighbor, they wave, you panic. Suddenly your brain becomes a desert. Dry, empty, silent. You smile, you nod, you pray they don't say anything else. Welcome back to Monday English Podcast, where we roast your fears, shake your excuses, and gently bully you into actually using your English. Today's topic? Small talk. Yep, that weird, tiny, scary thing that makes adults sweat like they're back in high school math class. Let me guess. You can write an email in English, pass a grammar test, even explain the difference between since and for. But when your neighbor says, "Hey, how are you?" your soul leaves your body. You turn into a statue with a nervous smile. It's okay. You're not broken. You're just overthinking again. That's what we do here. Break the brain loop and bring English back to life. This episode will walk you through 3 steps. First, the awkward truth of hellos and weather talk. Yes, the awkward elevator of language. Then, what to say when your neighbor actually replies. What if they actually answer? And finally, how to sound human when you're both standing near trash cans. From silence to something real. You'll learn words, yes. But more importantly, you'll learn how to not freeze like a scared robot. Look, if you're waiting for the perfect moment to practice small talk, here's a spoiler. It never comes. You'll always feel a bit awkward. You'll always overthink, but you can still speak. And today, you will. Segment 1 is next. And no, it won't hurt. Much. Let's play out a common scene. You're in your building. You walk to the elevator. Ding. The door opens. You step in. And of course your neighbor is there too. The one who always smiles, always friendly. They look at you and say, "Hi." What do? Smile awkwardly. Maybe nod. Maybe make a strange noise like, "Heh." The elevator feels smaller now. The silence gets loud. You stare at the numbers going up and pray the ride ends fast. Sound familiar? Yeah. Welcome to the elevator of language panic. Here's the thing. Most people aren't scared of English. They're scared of starting. And small talk feels like the hardest kind of start. It's not a grammar test. It's not a speech. It's just a moment. But somehow that high feels like jumping off a building. And let's be honest, many learners are great at reading or writing. But speaking, that's a whole different level of fear. Why? Because speaking is live. No backspace. No pause. Just you and your mouth, trying not to betray you. Now let's learn a word, opener. An opener is the first friendly line in a conversation. For example, "Hi, how are you?" is a classic opener. It doesn't mean you want a full life story. It just says, "I'm human. I see you. I exist too." Another easy one, "Nice day, isn't it?" That's not deep, but it works. It's light. It's safe. It opens the door. That's all you need. Here's another word, awkward. It means strange, uncomfortable, or weird. Like silence in the elevator. Or like when someone waves at the person behind you and you wave back. That's awkward. But guess what? Awkward is part of life. And yes, awkward is part of English too. You know what's not awkward? Talking about the weather. I know. You think it's boring. But let me tell you something. Weather is the world's #1 topic for small talk. Everyone has weather. Everyone hates it or loves it. It's safe. It's short. It's perfect. So if you say, "Cold today, huh?" and your neighbor smiles and says, "Yeah, freezing," congratulations. You just spoke English like a real human being. Let's try a few more. Morning. Simple but powerful. It shows friendliness. Or long day after work. Another one. You live on this floor? That's called a chat. Chat means short, friendly conversation. You don't need to be funny. You just need to be present. Speak. Smile. Keep it short. Now here's a sneaky trick. Body language. Yes, it's allowed. Smiling is a form of speaking. A smile says, "I'm safe. You can talk to me." A small nod says, "I see you." These tiny signals help you even before words come out. Don't ignore them. They matter, especially when your brain is still buffering. And here's another word to learn, reply. It means the answer you give to a message or question. If someone says hi, your reply is hi. If they say nice weather, your reply can be yeah, finally some sun. You don't need to be smart. You just need to reply. Still waiting for a perfect line? Still standing there hoping your brain will give you a beautiful, deep sentence? Sorry, it's not coming. This is small talk, not Shakespeare. You're not writing poetry. You're buying time. You're practicing. That's the whole point. Let's add another word here. Neighbor. A neighbor is the person who lives next to you, not the person in your heart, the person in your hallway. Small talk often happens with neighbors because you see them often. You share space. You share moments. You share elevators. And yes, you share that weird smile when you both pretend you're not watching each other take out the trash. And don't forget the word silent. Silent means no sound, like an elevator with no music, like your mouth when you forget the word hello. Silence is fine, but too much silence becomes a wall. And language is a hammer. Break the wall, one word at a time. Now here's the sarcastic reality check. You can describe the water cycle in perfect English, but you still freeze when someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" Genius. So let's make a deal. Choose one opener today, any of the ones we talked about. Say it to yourself in the mirror 5 times. Yes, out loud. Yes, your voice will sound strange. That's the point. Get used to it. Let your mouth do the warm-up before the real show starts. Because in the next segment, we're not stopping at hi. We're learning what to say when someone actually replies. Yes, it's scary. And yes, we're doing it anyway. Let's go. So let's say you did it. You finally said something. Maybe hi, maybe nice weather, maybe how's it going? And then your neighbor answers. They say, busy day at work. And now your brain short circuits. What do you say next? You smile, you nod, you mumble something like, ah, okay. And then you both stand there, 2 humans, 1 dead conversation. This is the moment most English learners fear. Not the start, not the grammar. It's the next 5 seconds after the reply. The moment you have to show you're not a robot with a script, you have to be real. This is where we talk about interest. That's a good word to learn. Interest means you care about something. If someone says, I had a long day, you can show interest by saying, oh, really? Or that sounds busy. That tells them you heard them. You understood. You care, even a little. You don't have to fake deep emotions. You don't need to act like their therapist. You just need to be present. One small reply can keep the chat alive. Here's another good word, follow-up. A follow-up is the question or comment you say next. It continues the topic. For example, your neighbor says, busy day at work, and you say, oh yeah, what do you do? That's a follow-up. Another one is, do you work around here? Simple, not scary, just curious. Let's try an example. You say, hi, how are you? And your neighbor says, pretty good, just got home from work. You could reply, nice, long day, or you work nearby. That's interest and a follow-up in one. The goal is not to impress them. The goal is to keep the ball in the air. It's like playing catch. You don't throw a rock. You toss something light and easy to catch. Now maybe you're thinking, but what if I ask a question and they give a big answer? First of all, good. That means they trust you. Second, don't panic. You can nod. You can say, oh wow, or sounds like a busy day. You're not writing a novel. You're just talking. Here's a word that helps. Casual. Casual means relaxed, not serious. Casual talk is what small talk is. No big topics, no strong opinions, just daily life. Work, the weather, the dog, the traffic. That's what neighbors talk about. Keep it casual. Keep it easy. And now the word polite. Being polite means being nice and respectful. If you want to end the chat, be polite. Say, well, I should get going. Nice talking to you. That closes the conversation without being rude. You don't need a reason. You don't need to explain. Just be polite and friendly. Here's another one for your vocabulary list. Answer. I know it sounds basic, but answer means your reply to a question. In small talk, every reply is an answer. Even if it's short, even if it's just a smile and yeah, that's fine. That's real. You also need the word ask. Ask means to say a question. Do you work nearby? Is a question. So you ask it. If they don't answer, that's not your fault. You tried. You were brave. That's what counts. Let's be real for a second. You want long, deep conversations in English, but you freak out after 5 words. Sure. That makes perfect sense. Maybe next time, just try making it to 6. Let me remind you of something. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be cool. You just have to show you're listening. 1 reply. 1 follow-up. That's all. Small talk is not a performance. It's just a little bridge between strangers. A short moment of being human. You will say the wrong thing sometimes. That's fine. People forget words in their own language too. You might say, you go work far, instead of, do you work far from here? Guess what? They'll still get it. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to be brave. That's what small talk is. Bravery in tiny, awkward pieces. So your tiny task for today? Write 1 follow-up question you could ask your neighbor. Say it out loud. Listen to your voice. Get used to it. In the next part, we're moving from hi and how are you to something even scarier. Actual connection. Yes, we're going beyond weather, beyond jobs, straight to the trash bins. You ready? Let's go. It happens again. You step outside with your trash, and surprise, your neighbor is there too, also holding a bag of trash. Great. The trash bin is the new social club. You both nod, maybe smile. You open the lid, throw the bag in, and now you're just standing there in silence again. And guess what? This is your moment. Not a big one. Not a romantic movie scene, but a real one. A normal, everyday trash bin moment where real English happens. This is where you stop being the silent neighbor. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a long speech. You just need 1 line. 1 simple question. Try this. Trash day again, huh? It sounds silly, but it works. It's honest. It's human. You're both holding garbage. That's your shared life. Start there. Say it with a smile. Boom, small talk has begun. Here's a new word for you. Trash. Trash means garbage. The stuff you throw away. I took out the trash is a normal sentence. You'll hear it everywhere. It's boring, but it's gold in small talk. Because boring things connect us. Everyone has trash. Everyone has something to say about it. That bag was heavy. This bin smells worse than last week. See? Conversation. Another good word today is mail. Mail means the letters or packages you get at home. That's another easy small talk topic. Did you get anything fun in the mail today? Bills again. I think I saw a package for you. These are simple sentences, but they make you feel seen, and they make the other person feel seen too. Let's add 1 more word. Noisy. Noisy means full of sound, usually bad sound, like your upstairs neighbor dragging chairs at midnight, or the dog next door that barks for 3 hours straight. You can say, was it noisy last night, or that party was loud? Huh? You're not gossiping. You're connecting. Talking about what you both hear, both live with. It's real. Another word for your list. Like. You probably know this one, but in small talk, it's powerful. Do you like living here is a perfect question. I like this area is a great answer. Like is not just about love or hobbies. It's about comfort. And that's what neighbors talk about. I like how quiet it is. I like the trees. I like your dog. Speaking of that, let's talk about dog. If your neighbor has one, great. Dogs are small talk magnets. What's your dog's name? How old is he? He looks friendly. People love to talk about their dogs. You don't need to understand everything. Just smile. Listen. Repeat something like, oh, he's cute. That's more than enough. Next word, live. It means to have your home in a place. You can ask, how long have you lived here? Or say, I live on the second floor. It's simple and honest. Most small talk is. You don't need fancy words. You need real ones. Last one for today, area. An area is the place around you. Do you like this area? Is a strong, natural question. It invites a real answer. And you can follow up with, me too, if you agree. That brings us to the magic move. Me too. When your neighbor says, I like the park, you say, me too. It connects. It shows you're listening. You're not being fake. You're being human. Now let's drop the classic excuse. I want to speak real English, not boring English. Okay, cool. But if you can't talk about trash or mail, what are you going to do? Recite Shakespeare in the grocery store. Please. This is real English. It's simple, it's small, and it's used every day. Let's end with this truth. 2 short sentences can be a full win. Morning. You walking your dog? That's a complete conversation. Maybe it only lasts 10 seconds. That's okay. It still counts. Fluency doesn't mean endless talking. It means showing up with your words, even small ones. So here's your task. Pick one everyday topic, trash, mail, or pets. Say a sentence about it in English. And coming up next, we're going to talk about that little voice inside your head. The one that says, you're not a small talk person. Spoiler, that voice is lying. Time for a truth bomb in the Real Talk interlude. Let's go. I'm just not a small talk person. Oh, please. That's your big excuse? That's your magic sentence that's supposed to explain everything? Nice try. You talk all the time in your language. You text, you gossip, you complain about traffic. You tell stories that are longer than most movies. But the moment it's in English, suddenly you're a monk. Silent, shy, invisible. You're not just quiet. You're scared. And that's okay, but let's call it what it is. Here's the truth. The problem isn't your personality. It's your preparation. You don't practice the right stuff. You memorize 10 new verbs, but can't say, your dog is cute. You study grammar charts, but never rehearse what to say at the mailbox. And then you're surprised when your mouth shuts down like an old laptop? That's not mystery. That's math. You didn't train for the moment, so your brain panics. Welcome to the club. Everyone does. You are not boring. You're buffering. Like a video with bad Wi-Fi. You know what you want to say, but the words are loading. Loading. Still loading. And you think, if I just wait until I feel ready, I'll speak better. Nope. You won't. That's the biggest lie we all believe. I'll speak when it feels natural. Guess what? It won't feel natural until you speak. It's a loop, a trap, and you're standing in it. You say you're not ready, but you're not silent when your best friend calls. You're not silent when someone cuts you in line. You're not silent when your favorite show gets canceled. Suddenly you find all the words. In your language, of course. But still, you do have a voice. You just don't use it in English. Yet. Here's the good news. Awkward is not failure. It's proof you showed up. It's a sign that you're doing the hard thing instead of just dreaming about fluency while scrolling Instagram. The truth is, you don't need to be a talkative person. You just need to be the person who tries. One small sentence at a time. So here's your moment. Say this sentence out loud. I can be friendly in English, even if it feels weird. Say it again. Let it sit in your chest. Let it feel real. Then take that sentence with you, because next we're getting out of our heads and back into the world. It's time to talk to someone for real. Trash, weather, whatever. Let's make it happen. Let's review. You've now survived a full episode on small talk. Impressive, considering you used to run away from a simple hi. We started with the basics. Openers like nice day or how are you? Nothing fancy, nothing poetic, just friendly noise that helps 2 humans not die of silence. Then we moved on to what happens after the other person actually responds. Yes, that terrifying moment when your neighbor says something real like, busy day, and you suddenly forget how to be a person. But we handled it. You learned how to show interest, how to follow up, how to escape when needed, politely, like an adult. Then we got real. Trash bins, barking dogs, loud neighbors, boring mail. Welcome to the glamorous world of real English. You said you wanted everyday conversation, right? Well, guess what? That's it. That's it. It's not Netflix. It's not song lyrics. It's, did you take out the trash today? And honestly, that counts more than a 10-word sentence with 6 phrasal verbs and no soul. We talked about your favorite excuse too, but I'm just a quiet person, right? Until someone insults your favorite food or forgets your birthday. Then suddenly you speak fine, in full paragraphs, in 2 languages. So no, it's not about being quiet. It's about being scared. But scared is okay. Scared means you care. The trick is showing up anyway, saying one line, smiling, nodding, staying present, even when your mouth feels broken and your brain is on fire. The biggest lie you've been told is that English has to sound perfect. It doesn't. It has to sound used, spoken, tried, lived. Fluency doesn't show up with music. It shows up with, hey, you live here too? Fluency is not magic. It's habit. And you don't build a habit by waiting for motivation. You build it by doing something small, every day, even when you don't want to. So here's your action task. Say 1 sentence to a neighbor this week. Any sentence. Don't script it. Don't rehearse it for 3 hours. Just say it. And let it be ugly, because ugly is better than silent. Always. If this episode gave you a push, or maybe just a tiny eye roll that made you think, share it. Send it to your friend who still hides when the doorbell rings. Or your classmate who knows 500 words but says none of them. Or hey, send it to yourself. Future, you will thank you for not giving up. Subscribe to Monday English Podcast so you don't miss the next round of truth bombs, awkward laughs, and actual English that people use outside of grammar books. We'll be back next Monday. Still tired, still sarcastic, still cheering you on while you talk to strangers about the weather like a champ. Because this isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave. You've got 1 sentence in you? Say it. Then come back for more.